Bzzz. Do you hear that? It's the sound of Beyonce's team fighting to ban these unforgettable photos online. And wait, there's more, because these A-list celebs also don't want you seeing them at their worst. In 2013, Beyonce made many headlines after she performed at the Super Bowl halftime show. After the show, the singer's team were very unhappy with some of the images of her looking animated on stage. One of her publicists emailed the site BuzzFeed to ask them to take them down, but the site actually refused. The email read, "There are some unflattering photos on your current feed that we are respectfully asking you to change and take down." BuzzFeed reacted actually by writing an article that read, "The unflattering photos Beyonce's publicist doesn't want you to see." When Beyonce performed during the halftime of 2013 Super Bowl, there was nothing in the world being talked about more. In fact, it was tweeted about more than the game itself. And one of the biggest reasons for the big fuss was the long-awaited reunion of Beyonce with her former Destiny's Child bandmates Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams, who popped out on stage during the show to the elation of R&B fans everywhere. Despite Beyonce desperately wanting all of these, quote-unquote unflattering photos to be taken down, they never were, and it only drew more attention to them, with them being shared virtually everywhere. I mean, she can't catch a break, even to this day. I mean, just look at me digging them up all over again. You're welcome. Next up, we have Angelina Jolie and her brother. Sometimes celebrities have a strangely close bond with their siblings. Look at the Kardashians, the Hemsworths, the Olsen twins, or even the Jonas brothers, stuck to each other like glue. But some stars have really gone that extra mile to show off their kinship, such as Angelina Jolie and her brother James Haven, who shared a very bizarre kiss on the red carpet at the 2000 Academy Awards. Back in 2000, after Angelina Jolie won her first Oscar, she and her brother James sparked a lot of controversy with a kiss, which Jolie later clarified was just an expression of brotherly love and dismissed any other, rumors of anything else. Haven also clarified that the kiss was just a simple and lovely gesture, but the media made it into a very big thing. It became a hot topic, of course, and after some time, Jolie tried to get all of us to forget, but we didn't. No, we certainly did not. Next on my list is Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian has been the center of many Photoshop fails, but fans noticed how the wall was bending weirdly in one of her pictures. With this particular picture, Khloe had to take to social media to state that she actually wasn't the one who posted that picture, and covered it up by saying it was her glam team who had posted it. Khloe kept digging a hole for herself by continuously denying her posting the picture and stating, "I never even posted this photo. Maybe my glam did, but I didn't. Also, the bent lines in the back, LOL, please." Fans were not having this. They were saying, "Khloe, there are pictures of it literally on your feed. This level of lying and gaslighting is insane. Wow." That actually leads me to her sister, Kim Kardashian. Candid photos are some of the Kardashians' favorite pictures to post on their social media because they are in the moment. And sometimes paparazzi get good angles of them, that they love. Kim Kardashian has always been known to post paparazzi photos on her Instagram, and this wasn't any different. But fans noticed how the car in the back was very photoshopped. She received so much backlash that Kim had to post a statement on her social media saying, "I'm seeing online and on news media outlets that I suffered a Photoshop fail. So ridiculous. I reposted a picture on Instagram that a fan had already posted. I only added a little filter to it. It looks like the fan mirrored the photo, which is why the car looks like that. So this is actually hilarious to me. Who would even Photoshop a car to look like that? LOL. Sure, Kim, I guess we'll believe you. Sure." Axl Rose is next. In 2016, GNR singer Axl Rose demanded that an image he claimed was released without his consent or approval be removed from the internet by Google. The image in question was taken of the Star's frontman, at a 2010 concert in Canada, actually, by Boris Minkovic, and published in the Winnipeg Free Press. Now, the photo was quickly stolen from the newspaper's website and used to make memes mocking Rose's weight. Rose then hired Web Sheriff to get the photo taken taken offline. The reason he wanted it down so bad is because it started trending as people were making fat Axel memes and sharing them everywhere on social media. It does sound like bullying to me, but one person posted one caption that said, "Remember the 80s? He ate them." Please don't hate me for finding that one funny. Admit it, you laughed a little, didn't you? Torrent Freak reported at the time that a notice was sent to some sites that hosted the photo reading "copyright image of Axl Rose. Please be advised that no permission has been granted to publish the copyright image, so we cannot direct you to an authorized example of it." It never got taken down. Jennifer Aniston does not want you to see these photos or videos of her smoking a cigarette on her birthday. Despite her very good girl image, Jennifer Aniston has a long history of smoking, which she has said she since quit. But in 2022, the actress and wellness advocate was pictured lighting up a bogey amid her birthday celebrations. Her ex-husband, Justin Theroux, posted a video of the actor lighting a cigarette before it was quickly deleted off his Instagram story. Aniston has admitted that she was a chain smoker for years, very early on in her career, regularly making her way through a pack of cigarettes a day, like one pack a day. But in 2007, 3 years after finishing her hit show Friends, she decided to quit, saying the habit was affecting her health, energy, and even her relationships. Well, the lie detector determined that was a lie. As much as we know she'd love us to forget and wishes we never saw it, well, I'm sorry, Jen. Once on the web, forever in the cloud. Kris Jenner isn't immune to this list at all. As the matriarch, of the Kardashian-Jenner empire, Kris Jenner needs to be smart about what she posts on social media because she represents her daughters as well. Kris posted a picture of herself and Chef Gordon Ramsay to show he supported her cookbook. Now, this would have been a great picture, but it became overlooked heavily by the amount of filters used on the image. In the photo, Kris looks very smooth on her face, but Gordon Ramsay seems very different. It was noticeable to fans because Ramsay posted the unedited picture on his own social media platform. So this was a classic case of like, as long as I look good, I don't really care how you be looking type of vibe. I mean, I'm guilty because I've done that, but I'm not Kris Jenner and I can get away with it. I'll admit, as someone who, kind of cares how I look in pictures, not so much in videos, clearly, but it was not her finest moment. This pic that Gordon shared, yeah, it wasn't that flattering, so I see why she'd want to give it the old edits and glitz and glam to it. But to be fair, they both looked fine. It was not that bad, never that serious where she had to do all that. She should have maybe just made it a bit more subtle. Kate Middleton is next. Yes, the Princess of Wales herself. Do not come for me, I love the royal family, okay? But they are not exempt. The Princess of Wales raised eyebrows after uploading an image sitting alongside her and Prince William's 3 children. Hours after the pic was shared online, several international news agencies reportedly refused to share the upload, claiming the source had manipulated the image. Kate addressed the controversy and admitted to tweaking the Mother's Day snapshot. Now, an X post, formerly known as Twitter, shared through the official Prince and Princess of Wales account said, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph, that we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating has a happy Mother's Day." It was innocent, harmless, and we have forgiven her. Paula Abdul is up. The Straight Up performer shared a seemingly edited picture of herself and Kathy Hilton, who is Paris Hilton's mom, at the Bravo Stars holiday party back in December of 2022. Abdul's new look confused fans as they took to the comment section to say she did not resemble her natural self. One of her followers commented on Instagram saying, "This looks like a completely different person." Another person wrote, "Wow, I don't understand this. Everyone knows what you actually look like. The amount of editing here is embarrassingly obvious." And a third person said, "Holy words I can't say in this video, she looks like a kid." Several social media users even went as far as to joke that Abdul in the photos was an imposter, and people asking, "Where's Paula? What have you done with her?" Some people even think she may have been hacked. Abdul never actually addressed it, but she did remove the photos, which basically, speaks for itself. And last up, I have Gigi Hadid. Now, a March 2017 Vogue issue celebrating fashion's fearless female showed Gigi, reaching across Kendall Jenner to rest her hand on Ashley Graham. Now, not only did people wonder whether or not Graham's curves have been slimmed down for the cover shoot, which is problematic, but many were skeptical about the Photoshop wizardry that elongated her arm basically an extra few inches. Now, the way it's placed, this hand looks like it belongs to Gigi Hadid, but it's just so long. If it is meant to be Gigi's hand, that means Gigi's arm is incredibly long enough to hold on to both Kendall and Ashley. Or perhaps it's been, just photoshopped, which feels like the more likely option. I mean, I think we would all have noticed if Gigi's arm had been dragging on the floor this entire time. It's possible that the mystery hand is actually Ashley's on her own waist, creating the illusion of a super long Gigi arm. But if that's the case, where is Gigi's hand? Is she able to bend her wrist at a sharp 90-degree angle? Vogue nor Gigi ever responded to the controversy about this, and we might never know, but you decide for yourself like I did, and I'm sticking with that it is a Photoshop fail.
It was so obvious that Katy Perry was lip syncing during her performance at the NRJ Music Awards. Like, there was a very blatant 15-second delay between what she was hearing in her earpiece and what the audience was hearing in the crowd. And like in clips from that night, you can just see the embarrassment on Katy's face when the host of the show asked her to start again. And then, oh yeah, you actually have to sing. And that's not her only notable super embarrassing onstage moment. In 2008, she was performing her hit song I Kissed a Girl for the MTV Latin American Awards, and she must have thought that jumping into a gigantic pink frosted cake was like a great idea. But then it was time for her to get out of the cake, and she kind of was being held hostage. She fell flat on her face when she finally wrestled free of the cake, and then another 7 times before she was carried off stage, the cake tripping her on her way out. And even though it was like super embarrassing, she managed to keep a smile on her face, so like points to her, but like, girl, choices. Hugh Jackman once admitted in an interview that he had a bit of a leak in front of a crowd while he was on stage playing Gaston in a 1996 Australian production of Beauty and the Beast. So the actor revealed that after enduring headaches for 2 months, he asked an expert what to do, and they said drink more water. So on the day of performing, he consumed so much water that by the time he was set to deliver his first number, he had to go. He explained, literally, I'm picking up Belle, and as I pick her up, I stopped singing, and right in that moment, I realized the muscles you need to release in order to sing are the ones you don't want to release if you, need to go. Back in 2013, Selena Gomez was performing at the Kiss FM Jingle Ball and was dealing with some major sound issues. Now, she might have been lip syncing because apparently what was heard in the crowd was her backup track, and like honestly whatever, lip syncing happens, but after one of her songs, the lights went down, the crowd went nuts, and then she yelled, "What the F?" into the microphone, because she didn't realize it was still on. So then everybody in the crowd was murmuring, like really nervously, and when the lights came back up, she was like, "Oh, so sorry guys, sound issues, I'm gonna play 2 more songs." Well, she only played 1 more song and then had to leave the stage. Poor thing. The 2012 Emmy Awards caused quite a ruckus for the beautiful Sofia Vergara. Seems like her designer dress was a little too tight and her derriere for its freedom and came up victorious. 20 minutes before Modern Family won the Outstanding Comedy Award for the 3rd year in a row, this wardrobe malfunction sent Sofia Vergara flying backstage to fix the problem with the help of her wardrobe team. Thankfully, this embarrassing moment did not faze her one bit. She even tweeted out the photo of her rear end for the entire world to see. You go, girl. Jennifer Lawrence is an incredible actress, super down to earth, super relatable. She's super talented, she's quick on her feet, but sometimes she's a little too quick on her feet. And we all saw this back in 2013 when she won Best Actress and tripped up the stairs while on her way to accept the award. Look, I've been there, I've worn the big skirts, I've fallen and done my fair share, but I don't think anybody has ever fallen quite as much as she has in terms of red carpet events, but she's doing great. Maybe just like get some help when you're wearing the big ball gowns. Been there. Beyonce is more than a person. She is the embodiment of beauty, talent, and success. She's lived most of her life on stage performing like she was born to do, and throughout her entire career she's remained classy in any outfit, no matter how revealing or outrageous, and has continued to be just incredible. It cannot be argued. Queen Bee all the way. But hey, even queens have their moments, and it's their choice on whether to dwell on them or pick themselves up. And I think we can all agree that when Queen Bee falls down, she bounces back up in a heartbeat, which she has proven to us over and over again. I think all in all she's fallen like 9 or 10 times, but her biggest stumble was during the Beyonce Experience tour, where she fell down 12 steps. Thankfully she didn't get hurt, but like, whew, poor thing. Ouchie. Kelly Clarkson found herself in a bad position after some food didn't agree with her stomach during a performance. She almost ended up pooping her pants on stage, and when she had the opportunity to run off during a quick change, she apparently destroyed a trash can. She said, like, I got some kind of wrecked up from some kind of food. We were in an arena, and I shouldn't tell this story, but like I said, I don't have a filter. She had to run backstage to do her quick change. She grabbed this poor trash can, and boy, she destroyed it. It was bad. She's like, it was bad. I'm just saying, it happens. What are you supposed to do? Hey, you do you. Things happen. Joe Jonas once once had an accident on stage in the middle of a performance with his brother. Looking back on the 2019 incident, Joe says that when he realized he had also done a number 2, he quickly ran off to make a quick wardrobe change. And while he thought a lot of people would notice, turns out nobody really knew what was happening. He said, let's just say it was a bad day to choose to wear white clothing. You might think it might be a little toot, might have been a little something else, it was a little something extra. He said it was a light one, wasn't a full, so I was able to tell the tale. Thank you so much for that detail, Joe. That's what I needed today. He definitely continued the whole time. I thought this was definitely, somebody is going to be able to see this and know what is happening, but it was all in my head. Wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. But such is life. It's happened to many artists. I feel like I've paid my dues. I'm part of some secret club now. Yeah, okay, pal. In 2004, Ashlee Simpson performed her hit single Pieces of Me on Saturday Night Live, and it went fine. But then when she came back to perform her next tune, Autobiography, things went south. The vocals for Pieces of Me began playing while her mic was down at her side. She tried to recover, for some reason, with a spontaneous hoedown before fleeing the stage. We've all seen the clip. At the end of the episode, a visibly mortified Simpson said, "I feel so bad. My band started playing the wrong song, didn't know what to do, thought I'd do a hoedown." Later on 60 Minutes, she blamed her acid reflux for her reliance on a backing vocal track, and she's attempted comebacks, but no public was having it. Her record sales never recovered. We haven't really heard from her ever again. The house is packed, the ovation is standing, but the reviews are scathing. Why is it that there was such a visceral reaction to Cameron Dallas's run in the Broadway adaptation of Mean Girls as romantic lead Aaron Samuels? Was the runway model turned Broadway star too harshly treated by the critics online? Or was this a really damning moment of the dreaded stunt casting that's plagued a lot of Broadway productions for years? When the original Aaron, the beloved by fans Kyle Selig, opted to take a leave of absence from the show, it was announced that Mean Girls would introduce Cameron Dallas to take over the mantle for just like 4 weeks. And the decision proved unpopular with hardcore fans of the New York theater community, but also saw a huge response from fans of the heartthrob. Look, at the time, he was like the most famous member of the cast. He had more followers on Insta and Twitter than the entire ensemble put together, multiple times over. His announcement on Instagram garnered almost as many likes as the official Mean Girls on Broadway account had followers altogether. We're talking like over 200,000. So there was no doubting, objectively, the considerable difference in ability at almost every quantifiable level between the social media celeb and the man he was covering for. Kyle's vocal range was leagues above Cameron Dallas's. Ditto to the acting credits. After all, there's a decade of experience in musical theater, stage time, and possibly most egregiously for theater purists, dues paid between the pair. Like when Kyle won the National High School Music Award and was subsequently granted a $10,000 scholarship for musical theater, Vine, the app where Cameron Dallas would launch his career, was still 2 years away from launching. One Reddit poster claimed that after watching the show on what was Cameron's opening night, that he sounded like he was reading his lines from a teleprompter. I remember when this hit the internet, I heard a boot. It was rough. John Cena made sure he didn't show too much on the 2024 Oscars stage. The actor appeared to be fully in the nude as he presented the award for Best Costume Design. He certainly wasn't wearing much, but he had some precautions in place to avoid any dramatic wardrobe malfunction. Now, behind the scenes photos do show Cena standing in an Oscars hallway wearing a modesty pouch to cover up the most personal parts. It's basically a pair of underwear, pocketed to, the front and the back. So while it looked like the pro wrestler could flash to the audience at any moment, the Oscars team made sure that wasn't gonna happen. It was all an homage to one dramatic Oscars moment past. The 46th Academy Awards, 1974. David Niven was in the middle of introducing Elizabeth Taylor when a streaker ran across the stage, and host Jimmy Kimmel was like, hey, can you imagine if a nude man ran across the stage today? And Cena fit the bill. But he wasn't going to become the next Hollywood streaker. They were joking that, he was supposed to, and then he got cold feet. And if you found yourself wondering if this was a music performance or a episode of WWE Raw, don't worry, you're not alone. While performing at the 2013 Billboard Music Awards, R&B star Miguel decided to take things up a notch. He leapt from the stage across the teeming crowd, but fell short, directly landing on a fan's head while hitting another with his leg. To add to the awkwardness, he proceeded to hug the wrong person and continued with his performance. He later appeared in a backstage interview with one of the injured fans in an apparent attempt at damage control. However, he was eventually sued by another lady who claimed to have also been hurt by his humiliating jump.
Recently, we've had a pretty remarkable meltdown from Kanye West. The rapper turned designer turned US presidential candidate turned Yahtzee with an N has been crashing out online. Admittedly, for a few years, but it picked up in 2025 after the Grammys. The Grammys this year is where Ye's wife Bianca was nude with mesh. Obviously, there was lots of pushback because of this fashion choice that eventually spurred on the latest Kanye West social media rant. Parts of the rant were in support of his wife and her fashion choices, but there were other things in there as well. Lots of hateful words, mainly directed at the Jewish population. He also tweeted in support of people like Diddy and against those that have come forward in the Me Too Too movement. Essentially, he was tweeting whatever came to mind. Most notably, he tweeted out a photo of a white t-shirt with a well-known Yahtzee with an N hate symbol on it, and said that he would never sell something like that because his followers might get hurt if they wear it in public. So not because that symbol is a mark of hatred, at least in the way that Kanye was using it, not in its original context of course, but because the people that would want to wear it hatefully might get hurt. Anyways, literally, guess what he started selling shortly after that? You'll never get it. The very same t-shirt. He took out an ad during the Super Bowl, aka like the most watched sports event in the US, and advertised his website, but when people went there, the only item for sale was the shirt he said he would never sell. The ad itself was also quite strange. It was filmed on his phone, which was similar to what he did last year, except last year he filmed from his car and the site was full of normal clothes and shoes, whereas this year he filmed from seemingly his dentist office right after a procedure, and the site led to the one terrible t-shirt. Kanye's Twitter rant eventually morphed into him literally tweeting out explicit videos, links to them, which is interesting considering a couple years ago he was calling for the site to remove all of that stuff and that Jesus saves. It was after this that he deactivated his account for the first time. He returned shortly after with more offensive and erratic tweets. Now, listen, I don't really think that Kanye is humiliated by his outbursts at all, but he should be. His hate-filled remarks have no place anywhere, and it's truly amazing how in just a couple years he went from preaching about the Lord to claiming to be him. But back when the idea of going viral was still kind of a new thing, Christian Bale had a meltdown that grew so popular it was people's ringtones. So let's set the scene. Bale is working on Terminator Salvation, or T4. He's in the middle of a scene and the cinematographer walks into the background of a shot right across Bale's sightline. Bale proceeds to crash out about this. The video of this moment was never released, if there was any, but there was audio, and honestly, the video's not really needed. You can hear how mad the actor is. After being released online, the audio quickly spread to every inch of the internet. It featured plenty of explicit language, enough to get cancelled by today's standards for sure. He called the cinematographer unprofessional multiple times, threatened to quit, the whole 9 yards. Bale yelled that he wouldn't go around during a scene ripping the set apart, so why should the cinematographer be disrespecting the actor's space like this too? In the end, the rant had more of an effect on Terminator Salvation than it did Bale's career. People obviously weren't happy with how Bale treated the cinematographer, but for the most part, it was just kind of the movie that flopped. People were already on the fence about T4, and the rant just made people want to see it less. Bale ended up issuing a public apology, saying he was out of order beyond belief, he makes no excuses for it, there is nobody that has heard the tape that has been hit harder than him, and saying that he sometimes gets so lost in a role that he does lose himself a bit. Shortly after this, Bale went on to star in the final installment of the Dark Knight trilogy, and the on-set rant turned into a minor hiccup in the actor's journey and a fun fact that you would hear about in a video like this. The on-set meltdown nearly destroyed his career at the time, but then, you know, Batman came back around, and it's amazing what a good acting performance can do for someone's reputation. Hugh Grant was called out online after the reason for his on-set meltdown on the Dungeons & Dragons film came to light. The British actor apparently lost it on a woman who was simply there to chaperone the young star of the movie. He had thought that she was someone who was more familiar with movie sets, like an executive or someone like that. I mean, that doesn't really warrant the response that he apparently had. Grant said that he had lost his temper and compared himself to Christian Bale's infamous 2009 incident. He shared all this in an interview with Total Film magazine. Apparently, it also happened on the first day of filming. He said that he ended up doing a lot of groveling once he realized the error of his ways and that the woman was actually very nice. Unfortunately, this outburst news was not exactly a surprise to a lot of people that have followed Grant's career through the years. He gained a rep for being very difficult on set. In 2012, TV host and actor Jon Stewart claimed that Grant's on-set behavior wasn't great, saying the actor would never be welcomed back on the show that he had been working for at the time. He also said that Grant was giving everyone grief the whole time. Hugh Grant appeared to have taken a break from acting early in his career, but according to the actor, that was not on purpose. Apparently, his behavior on the movie set, Did You Hear About the Morgans, caused opportunities to dry up for him, and that's not me saying that, it's him. He pinpointed this flick as the moment his career took a pause, claiming that Hollywood gave me up because I made such a massive turkey with that film with Sarah Jessica Parker. Whether I wanted to or not after that, the days of being a very well-paid leading man were suddenly gone overnight. People are also speculating that Grant is the person behind an on-set story from Rebecca Ferguson told early last year. The actress shared that she was once screamed at by a co-star on set to the point of tears. To be clear, Ferguson has never actually named the person that she was talking about. She made it clear that she wanted people to focus less on that and more on the message that she was was trying to convey. The Sparks Notes version of that is that you need to know how to stand up for yourself. But still, the internet loves drama and began combing through her past projects trying to find the actor. Due to his past on-set behavior, when people saw that Hugh Grant starred in Florence Foster Jenkins with her, he became suspect number one. It's like a year later though, and there hasn't been any confirmation that the yeller was in fact Hugh Grant. Though the actor himself has said that Renee Zellweger is one of the few actresses that he hasn't fallen out with, so there's that. Hailey Bieber was called out by a former restaurant host on TikTok for being not nice, leading to the star issuing a public apology. Back in 2020, TikToker Julia Carol Ann started rating celebrities that she had interacted with during her time at an upscale, unspecified New York restaurant. Using a 1 to 10 schedule, she would share why certain people ranked the way that they did. Hailey Bieber received a 3.5 out of 10. Julia claimed that she had interacted with the model multiple times and none of them were great. She said that she wasn't trying to be a hater and wanted to like the star, but the score speaks for itself. It's not clear exactly what Bieber might have done to receive this score, but it's clear that she wasn't proud of her past actions when she actually found and responded to this video. The model left a comment apologizing for her behavior that read, "Just came across this video and wanted to say so sorry if I've ever given you bad vibes or a bad attitude, that's not ever my intention." She went on to say that she was glad that she was called out and held accountable for her behavior so she can do better in the future. She also said that she hoped the pair could someday meet in person so she could apologize face to face. Carol Ann did respond saying that she hopes for the same and that she also appreciated Bieber taking accountability for her actions. The precise words were calling her an accountability queen. Despite Bieber apologizing, people still attacked her online. She's one of those people on the internet that people just do not like and will take any opportunity to go after. Sometimes it's warranted, other times it's not, in my opinion anyways. Anyway, the point is she receives a lot of hate online pretty consistently, and that can take a toll mentally. She gave fans an inside look at how it all affects her in a series posted to her YouTube channel featuring psychiatrist Dr. Jessica Clemens. She directly addressed the previously mentioned TikTok, saying that seeing the video really upset her. She explained that at varying points, presumably including that of when she met the hostess, she was going through a lot of emotional lows and interacting with anyone was difficult. She did clarify that she knows that that doesn't excuse her negative behavior. The model shared that she actually didn't even remember meeting Carol Ann, but she still regretted her actions and wants to strive to do better.
First up, we have Ryan Gosling. Someone's clearly been taking lessons from a sassy child because that's the vibe that Ryan Gosling was sending off in waves while being interviewed alongside his The Nice Guys co-star Russell Crowe on Stephen Colbert's Late Night Show. In 2016, during their segment, Ryan stormed off stage after Crowe implied that he actually didn't need him for the interview, trashing Colbert's table before storming away with the house band and then joining the audience, basically interrupting the whole show. Everyone in the audience had this very shocked look on their face, wasn't quite sure if it was staged or not, but later they would go on to say that it was a bit for the show, but many people speculated that that was just their cover-up story and Ryan was being a diva. Number 2, Piers Morgan. Arguably one of the most notorious on-air exits in television history occurred in 2021 when presenter Piers Morgan abruptly left the set of Good Morning Britain. This happened after the weather presenter Alex Beresford confronted him regarding remarks he had made about Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah Winfrey during the previous day's broadcast. Alex said, "And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to, but yet you continue to trash her." This prompted Piers to stand up and exit the studio, which would ultimately mark his final appearance on the show. And later that day, it was revealed that he would be departing immediately amidst the controversy surrounding his remarks about the Duchess. Now, as he was storming off, he said, "Okay, I'm done with this. Sorry, no, can't do this. I'm off to spend more time with my opinions." Now, just a couple hours later after that incident, ITV released a statement saying Piers Morgan has decided now is the best time to leave Good Morning Britain. ITV has accepted this decision and has nothing further to add. Number 3, the Bee Gees. In 1997, during their appearance on Clive Anderson's All Talk, the Bee Gees found themselves at the receiving end of the host's jokes about their music. Within mere seconds of commencing the interview, Clive likened the group's distinctive high falsetto to Mickey Mouse and humorously suggested that the Bee Gees, renowned hitmakers, were only one letter shy of being hit writers. The breaking point for Barry Gibb and his brothers, Robin and Maurice, came when the host actually forgot their hit records, prompting them to get up and abruptly leave the show. Number 4, Crispin Glover. Now, Charlie's Angels actor Crispin Glover's unforgettable appearance on Late Show with David Letterman in 1987 1987 secured its place as one of the most notorious moments in the genre's history. Crispin had previously garnered attention for his captivating performances in the 1984 film Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, also followed by his role as George McFly in Back to the Future, one of my favorites. Now, his scheduled guest spot on Late Night with David Letterman was intended to promote his latest film. However, instead of the expected promotional interview, the actor, who was only 23 at the time, delivered a very perplexing and bewildering segment that lacked a discernible purpose or direction. The catastrophic segment ended with David declaring, "I'm gonna go check on the top 10," before walking off the stage and leaving Crispin briefly alone before the show just basically cut to commercial. Number 5, Joan Rivers. In 2014, the late Joan Rivers made headlines when she dramatically exited a CNN interview. CNN host Frederica Whitfield was accusing Joan of being mean in some of her harsh fashion critiques, which appeared to ruffle the comedian's feathers. Frederica continued to challenge Joan as she said, "You're not really worried about feelings getting hurt," to which the showbiz personality replied, "Well, not when it's about dresses. It's not about them, it's about the clothing." But before abruptly walking out of her interview, Joan yelled, "Stop it with the 'you're mean' and 'you're that' and 'you're this'. You are not the one to interview a person who does humor. Sorry." She basically stormed off and left the interviewer shocked and basically in disbelief. Number 6, Chris Christie. Now, comedian Jimmy Fallon couldn't resist slipping in a wisecrack about former Governor Chris Christie's weight when the Republican presidential candidate attempted to recount a story involving ice cream. This incident unfolded during Christie's appearance in 2015 on The Tonight Show. Now, Christie was sharing an anecdote about a recent visit to New Hampshire where he and Florida Senator Marco Rubio had stayed with Utah Senator Mitt Romney. Now, during their stay, Christie recounted how they all went on a boat ride with their respective families, and upon returning to the dock, Mitt suggested that they all indulge in some ice cream. Christie described his reaction to the ice cream offer as all right, but Jimmy, making a playful reference to Christie's weight, suggested that his response might have been a tad more enthusiastic. Now, Christie caught on to the joke and, in kind of good humor, momentarily walked off the stage before returning with a comeback of his own. Number 7, Paris Hilton. When ABC interviewer Dan Harris asked Paris Hilton if she was worried about her, moment having passed, she laughed uncomfortably, then basically left. She got annoyed and walked out of the interview after he asked her about being past her prime and kind of living in the shadow of former friend Kim Kardashian. Now, in the clip, Harris repeatedly asks her if she's worried that, time has passed, she's not really popular anymore, and actually points out the low ratings on her Oxygen reality show, The World According to Paris. Now, Hilton answered, "I've been doing this for 15 years now, so it's been a long time. So just like any other business person or someone in the industry, it's always important to reinvent yourself and come up with new projects." After several basically clipped, quick no responses, she basically sighs, looks off camera, and just walks out and doesn't return. Number 8, Naomi Campbell. During an interview with ABC News in 2010, supermodel Naomi Campbell abruptly left when a discussion veered towards a blood diamond she was rumored to have received from former Liberian dictator Charles Taylor, who was facing war crimes charges at the time. She said, "I didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that." As the interviewer persisted in questioning Naomi about the issue, the fashion icon rose from her seat and departed, accidentally causing a camera to even topple over in the process. Later in the same year, Naomi acknowledged that she had received the diamond while providing testimony during the trial of the former leader. Number 9, Prince. Prince was interviewed on The View in 2010, but he didn't actually stay for long, and for years since, fans have wondered how he actually really felt about the interview. Prince joked about being on the morning show and said, "These are strange hours for rock stars." He mentioned that there was a wonderful series of concerts that he was doing there, as he was at the time playing at Madison Square Garden. Now, while The View's co-hosts were all thrilled to have Prince there, since he was, of course, an icon, Sherry Shepherd was definitely the most excited. And since she was sitting right next to Prince at the famous View table, she looked super nervous. Right away, Shepherd said, "Hey Prince, could you just say, 'Sherry, I love you'?" He did, and they hugged, and that seemed like a very sweet moment, but then things got incredibly awkward. Sherry then said to Prince, "You don't understand, Prince. I've wanted to make love to you for my entire life." Prince felt extremely uncomfortable. His eyes went really wide. He kind of comically backed away from the host, but he actually left the set for good. He basically said, "Girl, get somebody else to do it." Number 10, last but not least on my list, is Rita Ora. Now, Rita Ora walked out of an AP interview after the reporter asked her about her ex-boyfriend and musical collaborator Calvin Harris. The interviewer said, "There's been a lot of rumors about Calvin Harris not releasing some of your stuff." Ora shut it down. She said, "Thank you, bye-bye," and she replied saying that while walking away. Now, it's alleged that when she split with Calvin Harris, there were rumors that she cheated on him, that he refused to allow the album to be released because he produced it, basically completely sabotaging her career and ruining all of the momentum she had made at that time, which is why the interviewer asked her that question in the first place. So it didn't end well. Justin Bieber's latest public meltdown was sparked by his ex-girlfriend Selena Gomez's engagement to his former friend Benny Blanco, according to insiders. Now, it's alleged that the 31-year-old Canadian superstar had a lot of mixed feelings behind the announcement, as he once considered Blanco one of his closest friends. Selena Gomez and Justin had an on-off relationship between the years of 2010 and 2018. A source said that Justin confided in his breakup and heartbreak over Selena with Benny Blanco. Now, the source said, in a way, Justin felt betrayed even though he knew he had no right to feel that way. Justin shared cloudy-eyed footage to his Instagram of him seemingly on board, a plane and rapping about getting high. Some concerned fans branded the bizarre clip as desperate and sad. While Bieber has presumably, moved on with his life since their split, it would also seem though that he still has some feelings that haven't been addressed and some unresolved trauma from the relationship with Gomez. Now, this rapping video also comes days after his rep slammed rumors about him being on hard illegal substances. In the short clip, Bieber could be seen shirtless with a pair of pants on and a bright blue beanie as he held a bag of snacks in his hand. He could be heard rapping the lyrics that said, "High like a fly guy, I fly high like a magpie, I go high like a bad guy," as a beat played in the background. Now, one of Bieber's friends could be seen actually bopping his head in the back, kind of in the forefront actually, and dancing along to the beat in the video while putting a cigarette in his mouth. The pal even appeared to suggest some lyrics at the end of the video, adding, "'Cause I'm that guy." Now, in a statement from February 23rd, a member of Justin's team and his wife Hailey Baldwin's Bieber's team denied the rumors that he is using, these hard substances and called the allegations exhausting. Now, in this statement, the rep said that the past year has been very transformative for the hitmaker as he ended several close friendships and business relationships that just no longer served him. So instead, the team member said that he is supporting his wife Hailey and their son Jack Blues, who's now 6 months old, and is focusing on his health and art. Justin previously opened up about his past substance use in an interview with GQ in May of 2021. He said he once reached a very low point where security guards would sneak into his bedroom in the middle of the night and check his pulse to make sure he was still alive. He said in the interview there was a sense of still yearning for more. It was like I had all this success and it was still like I'm still sad and I'm still in pain and I still have these unresolved issues, and I thought all the success was going to make everything good. And so for me, the substances were a numbing agent to just continue to get through. Also noting that he, lost all control of his vision for his career at the time. Now, his reps have continued to say that the false rumors are pitiful, adding that despite the obvious truth, people are committed to keeping negative, salacious, harmful narratives well and alive. However, engagement may not be the only thing that weighs on Justin. Sources close to him say he has been mentally spiraling ever since disturbing allegations surfaced against his former mentor, Sean Diddy Combs. An insider says Justin is so disturbed by the Diddy news and is unwilling to process it or discuss it, so he has completely shut off. Now, the hip-hop mogul, who had once taken a young Bieber under his wing, was arrested last September on charges ranging basically from bad to worse. Crimes, of course, he denies. Now, Justin's marriage to Hailey Bieber has faced its own struggles. Since becoming a mother last August, Hailey has been grappling with emotional challenges, something many women experience post-pregnancy. And while Justin has been doing his best to support her, some sources suggest his unpredictable behavior has strained their relationship. A source said Hailey loves him madly, but he's a loose cannon. Some of her friends have advised her to go at it alone and leave him. Now, earlier this month, another insider claimed that Baldwin was deeply concerned and didn't know where to turn for help. The news came days after Justin was supporting her at the Los Angeles launch of her pop-up for her makeup brand Rhode. Footage showed Bieber wearing a beanie hat, sunglasses, and clothes that basically swamped his his slim figure, shifting his weight awkwardly, itching his thighs, and grinning uncontrollably. Now, following the event, Bieber shared an Instagram post with pictures of him and his wife beaming happily and hugging. He captioned his post saying, "Congrats baby on your beautiful road pop-up." Baldwin's Instagram post after the event, containing 11 photos, did not include a single snap of her husband, which is a little weird. Hailey Bieber and her close friend Lori Harvey recently partied together amid her rumored relationship struggles with her husband Justin Bieber. Hailey Bieber attended the 2025 Vanity Fair Oscar party without her husband Justin Bieber by her side after they shut down speculation about their relationship. The Road founder wore a custom Saint Laurent black strapless mesh gown that featured satin bows tied around her waist and legs at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills, California on this past Sunday. Hailey added a pair of statement diamond earrings in the shape of a floral bouquet, as well as a diamond bracelet and her massive engagement ring from Justin, or wedding ring should I say. She appeared to be in good spirits for the outing as she smiled and posed for photos. The influencer spoke about how she picked out her look and explained that she was super happy with it. Hailey also admitted that she had a slightly different mindset attending the party this year because she is now a mom to her and Justin's 6-month-old son Jack. She said, "You're just thinking about such different things now, and like I'm gonna go inside and be checking the baby monitor non-stop." The Road founder attended the Oscar party alone and seemingly had more fun though later in the night with Harvey. Hailey's fun activities come amongst rumors of tensions in her and Justin's marriage though, with insiders claiming, of course again, that she's deeply concerned about him. Now, Harvey shared a video on her Instagram stories page that showed her and Hailey dancing at the club while Crime Mob's classic tune "Knuck If You Buck" played in the background. The ladies looked excited as they danced to the song, though they seemingly didn't know the lyrics. At one point, Harvey actually knucked her fist into her and stretched her right wrist, while Hailey, who held the glass, actually dropped it to join her in doing the same. The ladies then laughed and then kind of just brushed it off. Now, Harvey captioned the video post basically saying exactly at Hailey Bieber. Now, the duo was seemingly partying at Jay-Z and Beyonce's Oscars 2025 after party as well, as the outfit Harvey wore in the clip was the same as that she was seen in while entering the party venue. Now, online blog The Shade Room reposted the video of Harvey and Hailey partying on its Instagram page, which sparked several reactions from fans. Some of the fans who commented made jokes about the pair not knowing the lyrics. One person wrote, "Lori, you don't know this song," while another person added she doesn't know any of the lyrics. A third fan shared, "I know they never knucked or bucked a day in their lives." A fourth fan added, "They probably took ballet and piano classes when this banger dropped, so it's understandable." But those weren't the only reactions. Other fans had other reactions as well. Another fan called attention to Hailey and Justin's rumored marital issues and concerns about his health. So they wrote, "While Justin is out here looking like he is on his way out of this world, I can't." Basically ensuing that Hailey's out partying while Justin's at home, like sick, right? Now, at the end of February, Justin had fans worried for him after a shared video on his Instagram that showed him inhaling and exhaling smoke from what we are led to believe is a J. Justin, who wore a black beanie and a hoodie, grinned in a 1-minute clip as he puffed the smoke. He also danced to a song in the background and seemed to be in good spirits. Justin's video came after he posted another clip in which he rapped about, of course, being high, which made fans worry about his well-being. So many concerned fans, took to social media to air their frustrations with the musician, with one of them writing, "He's clearly stopped taking his meds, and it's sad to watch." Another person wrote, "This is so sad and so scary. I hope he gets help soon." The source also revealed, though, that he's not working out like he used to. He doesn't seem to eat like he once did, and people can see he has lost weight. So due to all of this, Hailey's friends have been basically begging her to leave him. One source said, she thought the baby would change him for the better. But girl, how many more episodes do we need to watch to learn that having a man's baby will not fix him? You should have known. The source also said that she has been putting up with a lot, and allegedly when the baby was born, he was there for her and she thought that would stick, but it indeed did not stick. Now, the source shared more details about Hailey and Justin Bieber's situation, revealing that the supermodel's best attempts to be there for her husband were often not reciprocated. They said, "Hailey has been trying to give Justin the help he needs, but he doesn't appreciate being told what to do and sometimes shuts her down and refuses to talk talk to her for days. Another insider claimed that Hailey puts up with Justin's baggage due to her desperation for them to be a complete family unit. They added, living with Justin is a stressful experience because he often likes his own way. Sometimes he can be a very unpleasant person to be around, and that's when she lets him do what he wants, as she knows it will be resolved a few days later. It's starting to sound toxic, and like maybe her friends asking her to get away might not be the worst advice, but what do you guys think? Should Hailey leave Justin and maybe wait it out to see if things will get better, or should she just leave right now, like immediately?
Now, spitting at police. That's an intense phrase if I've ever heard one, so let's start with that. This allegedly happened in 2008. Again, it's all alleged because, well, I wasn't there. I was 7, and I have never been on the airline where this happened, aka British Airways. But the subject in question, the person this story centers around, was supermodel Naomi Campbell. The reason she was so upset was because of missing luggage. Missing luggage sucks, no matter who you are. It all happened before the flight even left, though. She somehow realized that her bags weren't making it on with her and refused to let the plane leave without them. It got to a point where police had to come onto that plane to try and defuse the situation, but that clearly didn't work because the supermodel was escorted off after spitting at the officer. She was banned from the airline. Didn't last very long though, like 5 years later she was back on a flight, much to the disappointment of the airline staff. But this wasn't actually the first time that Campbell got into an altercation on a plane. A decade prior, in 1998, she got into an altercation with fellow passengers, and this one looks like it happened midair. Campbell was asleep on the flight, and then people tried to take pictures of her. She got upset with them, and things escalated to the point where she tried to rip the camera from the person's hand. Khabib Nurmagomedov was set to take a flight in January of this year. He was sat in the emergency exit row, and that was apparently a problem. In a video taken of the incident, a manager is seen speaking to the MMA star and telling him that he had 2 options: change seats or exit the flight. He remarked that the treatment and options weren't fair and he didn't want to change seats. For that reason, he was escorted off. He was honestly pretty respectful about the whole thing, in my opinion. He did get up and exit calmly when he realized that the airline wouldn't budge. He was booked onto a later flight. Once the internet heard about the incident, people were quick to point out that of everyone on that plane, he actually might have been the best choice for the emergency exit row, but looking into why he was asked to leave, apparently when the flight attendant came around to ask the standard exit row questions like, can you help people in case of emergency, or this is what you do in case of emergency, she had to explain it to the fighter a few times. English isn't his first language, but he can speak it, though he did eventually understand what the attendant was asking him and confirmed that he understood. She felt it would be better if he were moved to another seat, and well, you know what happened after. Probably one of the most impressive track records when it comes to airport arrests belongs to that of Snoop Dogg. So the year is 2006, and 3 airport incidents happened in this one year. The biggest of the trio was him and members of his entourage were trying to get into the VIP lounge at Heathrow Airport. Some people had the tickets to get in, but some people only had economy tickets, so they weren't eligible for entry. People in the group got mad and pushed their way in. Workers obviously protested this and said that the group would not be able to board their flight. Police were called, and things escalated to the point where stuff started getting thrown. Nasty words, bottles of alcohol from duty free, and even, in one case, an officer. A quote I found was that a policeman was thrown like a rag doll, and that really just paints the picture of the state of that room for me. Allegedly, it took 4 officers to get Snoop Dogg in handcuffs. There were many injuries, and this all unfolded in front of patrons already in the VIP lounge, so dinner and a show. So that was April. October rolls around, and Snoop Dogg was arrested at Bob Hope Airport after he was found to be in possession of a firearm and the green leaves. He was scheduled to appear in court in December for that one, but right before that, in November, CBC News reported that he was charged with a felony for trying to board a plane with a collapsible baton, which is deemed a weapon. He said it was a prop for a future video that he was going to shoot later. However, he did plead guilty and was sentenced to 3 years probation and 160 hours of community service. A decade ago, Kate Moss was removed from her flight to London. She apparently hid some vodka in her bag and drank it, something you can't do. She also tossed some insulting words at the airline staff in her intoxicated state. Allegedly, she got into it with a fellow passenger, but luckily for the most part, the other passengers seemed to be unbothered, or just like less bothered by the supermodel. One person even described her as kind of funny and said that the flight attendants were overreacting. The police did respond to the incident, but the outcome of this was pretty tame in comparison to some other airport incidents. After it all went down, passengers from the flight even came to the defense of the model. A clash over phones and allegedly words with friends had actor Alec Baldwin escorted off his flight in 2011. Hey, anything can happen. So you know, when you're on a flight and the flight attendants ask people to put away their devices, but then there's like that few minutes where the plane doesn't actually take off, so everyone just pulls them out again? That's what this seems like it was. After it all was over, Baldwin explained that he felt singled out by the flight attendant. However, the attendant's story paints a different picture. Either way, it's clear that Baldwin was asked to put his phone away in the middle of words with friends, things escalated, and he was removed from the flight and placed on a later one. The in-between stuff, we'll get into it. Baldwin's story was, he was singled out and asked to put his phone away, while other people got to use theirs still. He did admit that the situation got the better of him. Reps for the airline added some more details, claiming that not only did Baldwin refuse to turn off his device, he allegedly decided to take it into the washroom and slammed the door so hard the cockpit crew heard it through their closed door. He was also allegedly using negative words towards the airline staff and being generally unpleasant. But if you thought words with friends was an interesting catalyst for an in-flight argument, get ready for sagging pants. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day boarded a flight in 2011, but a flight attendant was not appreciative of the man's fashion choice of the day. Some airlines, this one included, they don't have like a super strict dress code. However, they do want passengers dressed appropriately to be around, well, young people and the public in general. And that doesn't include sagging pants. Armstrong was the first to break the news of his plane removal, tweeting about it in real time. According to an account of the incident, he had boarded the plane only to be approached by an attendant and asked to pull his pants up. Upon refusal, he was told the pants go up or he's off. And from the end result of this day, one can only imagine that the pants just had to stay down. Things went a bit different for another intoxicated celebrity, Blac Chyna, but her situation seems like it was just a bit different. Whereas Moss just tried to serve her own alcohol and said some mean words, apparently Blac Chyna got into an intense verbal fight with the gate attendant. But that wasn't the main reason she was turned away. Allegedly, she also just smelled intoxicated. After refusing to allow her to board the aircraft, she was redirected to Saxon Pub. The problem was, that was closing, she really couldn't seem to catch a break this day. She then allegedly got into an argument with the bartender, then that ended in the police arriving to help escort the star from the building. She wasn't having a great time and refused to walk and was generally uncooperative. She was also found with some capsule substances in her purse, so it's clear that she was just having a bad day. She did post bail at $8,000 in addition to some counseling and evaluations. E-Online wrote on a report that was filed at the time that claimed the star was charged with a third-degree felony for having the stuff on her. Thankfully, she did have someone looking out for her in the end. Then boyfriend Rob Kardashian posted a photo shortly after her arrest of them FaceTiming. I can say that she is doing much better in 2025. She's engaged and highly successful in her fields. Well, on a walk back to her vehicle recently, Oprah was ambushed by a paparazzi with various questions about her recent involvement in the US presidential election. For those not aware of the situation, Oprah has been accused of being paid $1 million to appear at an event supporting Kamala Harris's campaign. TMZ obtained the exclusive video of this impromptu Oprah interview. It was quick and clear to viewers that Oprah did not want to engage, giving short answers and telling them multiple times that she wasn't going to answer their questions. The first question was about what Oprah thought of the election results, and her answer was sweet but firm in that she didn't want to discuss the matter. However, you can see her demeanor change when the cameraman presses on anyways, asking if it was true that she was paid to endorse Harris. Oprah spoke very clearly when she said that that wasn't true and that she was paid nothing ever. As the pop continued to ask various questions, Oprah got in her car, and as the door closed, it was clear the impromptu interview was over. But paid endorsement accusations aren't the only ones giving the talk show host grief right now. People eagerly await to see if Oprah will publicly comment on the situation with Diddy and everything that people are accusing her of providing the victims to the freak-offs, to having a connecting secret underground tunnel system within the rapper's home. There are all sorts of outlandish theories out there. The reason Oprah has found her name attached to Diddy in the headlines is because people noticed how comfortable she appeared with the rapper in party snapshots. As mentioned, Sean Diddy Combs is in some serious trouble right now after multiple people have stepped forward accusing him of engaging with them without consent, forcing people to consume things they don't want to, filming compromising situations, and then later using that footage as blackmail for people, and just generally being a really awful person, and definitely not the kind of guy you'd want your name attached to, especially not if you are someone as famous as Oprah, the kind of personality that has established themselves over the years as someone in firm support of the movement and amplifying victims' voices. Now, coming back to bite Oprah are all the pictures of her partying with Sean Diddy Combs at events he's hosted and others hosted by third parties. Here's the thing though, many big Hollywood names have appeared on a Diddy guest list, but not everyone has been a guest at a freak-off, which are the parties that everyone really has a problem with. Diddy was known as the party host in the 2000s. He hosted massive birthday parties, the white attire parties, wild after parties. The bashes were known for being over the top and expensive and extravagant and everyone wanting to be there. A Diddy birthday invite was once a VHS featuring a dozen celebrities personally inviting the viewer, including Oprah actually. Another invite featured a literal golden ticket. It was a status symbol to be around that much wealth. The main parties were apparently often pretty standard as far as parties go. Allegedly, it was the Diddy after parties that were the freak-offs. Many news sites report that by the time a party descended into a freak-off, the famous faces would have already left. Like anything, there are always rumors online about various celebrities being caught at the events, like Oprah. But people aren't just accusing Oprah of attending freak-offs, but also helping put them on. Some sites even claiming she provided the victims. They claim that one way she would have brought people over is via an underground secret tunnel system connecting Oprah's home to Diddy's. Rumors of a tunnel system below Oprah's home have been around for years, but with all the Diddy drama lately, that rumor is being dug up again. Some TikTok users even claim to have access to and explore abandoned Oprah mansions. The tunnel situation really caught fire when one woman claimed that not only was Oprah a key player, but that she had the address to a tunnel entrance. Adria English filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming she worked for Combs at the Hamptons and Miami parties he threw in the mid to late 2000s. In addition to allegedly being forced to consume things, English claims she was also forced to engage in actions she didn't want to do. She claims she was told by Diddy that in exchange for her actions, he would help her and her then boyfriend break into the entertainment world in their respective industries, music and modeling. English alleges that he never kept up his end of the bargain, and now she is suing Diddy and those deemed his co-conspirators for $50 billion. Adria English did have legal representation, but they have since parted ways. One of the lawyers claimed that English was disrespectful and self-destructive, making it impossible to continue representing her. However, the legal team did say that they never lost faith in her case, just in her, to which English allegedly responded with, "I am the client, you work for me." How does this tie back to Oprah? A major point of conflict between English and her legal team was that they requested that English not speak to any form of media, and soon after parting ways, English spoke to independent media, and that interview made its way around TikTok gossip pages and conspiracy pages. English made the bombshell claim that there were tunnels under Oprah's home. She also made the bold statement, she sees what's going on because she's a participant, and there appears to be a shortcut in the video, and so it's unclear if her next statement came right after this line or if the video was edited, but the next words Adria English spoke in the video are, "I ain't gonna say allegedly, sue me." As of right now, no credible news site has confirmed that or that a tunnel system exists under any of Oprah's properties or that she was involved with or helped Diddy or anyone else with something like this. I do not wish to discredit Adria English, just clarify that the information she has shared hasn't been officially confirmed or fact-checked by a credible news site yet. Oprah has made little to no comment on the Diddy situation, but maybe it'll take a year until she does speak on the issue. That is what happened back in 2013 regarding her 2011-2012 nervous breakdown. In 2013, the talk show host admitted that the rumors circulating from the year before about how she was having a nervous breakdown were 100% true. She shared all this and more in an interview with Access Hollywood. Let's set that scene. Oprah is/was, if not the biggest talk show host back in 2011, so big that she could launch her own network. It was called the Oprah Winfrey Network, or OWN. What was supposed to be the start of a prosperous new chapter didn't really go according to plan. The network apparently struggled when it debuted, it struggled to take off, and it was struggling to stay up, to the point where Oprah started to suffer a nervous breakdown. The wind of this when it was happening, it was in all the headlines, but Oprah kept to herself about it until a year later when she admitted it was all true. The talk show host shared that her breakdown was literally happening in the middle of her struggling network, and I do mean literally. She shared the moment she realized that she was breaking down when she was in the middle of doing voiceovers. She said, "I remember closing my eyes in between each page because looking at the page and the words at the same time was too much stimulation for my brain." She also shared that she started noticing other symptoms when she was interviewing Jason Russell in 2012. Their chat was all about his public breakdown, which included him running unclothed in the streets. Oprah never got to that point, let me assure you, but she did say that talking to Russell, hearing about his lived experience, his symptoms, clued her into the fact that she could relate and was experiencing some of them. Oprah explained in the Access Hollywood interview, "In the beginning, it was just sort of speeding and a kind of numbness and going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing." She also said she told herself, "All right, if I don't calm down, I'm gonna be in serious trouble." The talk show host acknowledged that she had worn herself thin and reached a breaking point, a point where she just couldn't handle any more stimulation. Oprah was always one to tell people to push through hard times and hold on to their dreams, and this situation was testing her ability to do just that. While her new network wasn't exactly tanking, it was doing poorly enough that it just wasn't where Oprah wanted it to be, and it could be considered a failure. The media was having a grand old time writing about the network's failure, which only made the wound hurt more. About this, Oprah had said, "Nobody was more surprised than I was about that." She then went on to talk about how this was the moment she realized that she needed to hunker down because, as she believes, there is no such thing as failure. She said that failure is just God telling you to move in another direction. Slowly but surely, the network started seeing their ratings improve to the point where Oprah stopped believing that she should be worried. The experience let her, in her words, walk that walk and not just talk it about following and sticking with your dreams.